Plaintiff Renisha Sanders met the defendants in high school, and they eventually rented an apartment together. Renisha claims the defendants had so many men coming in and out of their apartment that it was like they were running a prostitution ring, and she's suing them today for unpaid bills. Defendants Kyra McRae and her identical twin sister Kira say Renisha is so hot-headed that she got kicked out of school for fighting. Kyra and Kira claim Renisha constantly had her drug dealer friends over to their apartment, and they're countersuing today for bills and personal property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor, well, I met Kira and Kyra back when we were in high school. When I first met the girls, they were wild, out partying, doing cocaine. They were real boy crazy.
How do you know all that?
That's what she told me. She talk a lot. She got a big mouth.
She told you that before you all became roommates?
No, after we were friends.
That's not true.
Before you became roommates, though?
Yes,
All right, so why'd you move in?
I mean, because we were still cool. I mean, their past is their past.
You want to take
really
you a blow every now and then, huh?
No, never. But they passed, Your Honor. So we weren't friends at the time when they were all involved in this stuff.
Okay.
And later on, we became friends. Then we moved in together. And at first, it was fine. Everything was good. Then they started to bring men over. We had a lot of men coming in and out the house. Kind of like a prostitute ring. Basically, it felt like they had more than one or two men a night. It was like they had a set of men, they'll leave. Later on, they'll knock at the door. Somebody else.
Ladies?
None of that is true.
Are you serious?
In my room
Their
one
nicknames,
day.
Your Honor, are Freaky Deaky and Dun Dun.
What's that?
Their nicknames.
Are you serious?
Or what?
I said their nicknames are Freaky Deaky and Dun Dun.
Yes, they are.
Who calls them that?
My homeboys, like when we have friends over and their guests will come in and out the house, they be like, dang, did somebody just leave? And it's like embarrassing on my half because I stay there. And for them to have training like that.
I don't care what your drug dealer friends think of me, okay?
Well,
She's making all this up?
Yes, she is.
I'm making it up.
All
and
of
then she
that.
started to get into white boys, had white boys coming in at the house.
So what?
Yes. And so it's not a lie. How you gonna say it's a lie?
So what? I have friends. I have
You got
friends.
You say you
ridiculous.
want the address. you said something.
Anyway, Your Honor, for me to continue, and one night, Kira had three guys in her room, and it was her. It was like a little, I guess you want to call it a gangbang or whatever you want to call it.
No,
but anyway, it was embarrassing on my
even.
half because I was having a party that night when she had decided to have the little threesome or foursome or whatever you want to call it with three dudes and just one female herself because her sister was asleep. She didn't join into the activity that night. And another thing is she had a guest come over the house, and this is my sister right here, and he disrespected my sister by showing her a picture of Kira doing sexual activity with him. And it's like, so I don't even want to describe it to you. It was disgusting. It was like
And she
embarrassing
saw the
for her.
picture?
Yes.
Come on up, because I must warn you, ma'am, all these things you're saying, if it's not true, it's defamation
it's true.
all day
It's
long.
true.
State your name, young lady.
My name's Letitia Sanders. I'm her
What do you want to
sister.
tell me about what you observed?
I did observe men coming in and out the house, but the pictures.
Whose house? Our house where you weren't paying any bills.
Man, y'all don't know what they were doing back there.
You don't.
Yeah, they could have been cleaning the room.
Yeah, no. We
Could have been having Bible study.
Right.
I don't know what they were doing, but how do you know what they were doing in there?
Unlike you, we were in college. We were studying.
What type of subjects would you all
I'm
study?
a political science major right now.
All right. And the guys, they were in political science?
I don't know what guys she's talking about.
Oh,
I only
okay,
had
that
one
didn't
sitting
matter.
boyfriend at the
It's hard
time.
to remember. That's
Right.
why
What
she doesn't
college do you
remember
go
what
to?
I'm talking about.
At the time, I was at Georgia Highlands. I just recently moved to Northern California. So
Okay.
now I'm at the University of East Bay.
All right, good. What do you want to tell me?
I'm just gonna back it up. We did meet in high school. We were the three of us were friends, you know. She had a nasty attitude towards authority.
Never.
She was loud.
Nasty attitude.
Quiet.
She was loud. She got kicked out of school for fighting. In June of 2008, her mom put her out. She's difficult to be around. She stayed with her sister right there, Letitia. Her sister put her out, you know. Then she ended up staying with us. She got nowhere else to go. She stayed with
I
us.
did not put her out.
You didn't put her out?
No, I did
Why did
not.
she leave?
She just was there staying a couple days.
Okay.
They were in the process
And you
of
all
getting
became
apartment.
roommates.
Yeah, we moved in together.
Even though she was difficult to deal with, and
Exactly.
everyone
It's all
else had put her,
mobility.
be quiet. You are
Right.
becoming difficult to deal with. When she moved in, what type of experiences did you all have?
Well, the beginning was fine. She moved her sister in. Her sister wasn't on the lease. Her sister wasn't paying bills.
So that's 4 people.
That's 4 people. Right.
You all began to have conflicts, verbal conflicts about what?
Verbal. I mean, we expressed to her we didn't like the company she brought. They started dealing with these 2 guys that were homeless. They were, I don't know, they just met them off the street. They brought them in. They started sleeping with these guys. They were living out of trash bags, plastic bags, things like that. They sat around. They were unemployed. They were in our house, watching our TV on our couch, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, drinking, brought their other friends in. We find out they're drug dealers and they're bringing other guys in their business in our house.
What doesn't make sense with your testimony is that drug dealers typically aren't homeless.
They were young. They were like 17, 18-year-olds. Kids.
No, they weren't.
17-year-olds who deal drugs have enough money to have a place to live.
They weren't doing a good job of it.
They always had hotel rooms every now and then.
All right. Hope you all aren't living this type of destructive lifestyle, because loose women and women who date drug dealers, they are not in demand, quite frankly. I just finished reading this book by Steve Harvey, Act Like a Lady and Think Like a Man. And that kind of, one of the things it indicates is that men who, when they're ready to settle down, if they find out that you have a loose background that might compromise the man's honor, they're going to play with you and keep rolling. So, and I read it because I wanted to know what Steve was programming my wife to think. So not that I'm doing wrong, but he might tell her don't wash no more dishes or don't fix me any. I wash dishes too, but don't fix me any more food. So I wanted to make sure. Unpaid bill, $645. How do they owe you for that?
Well, Your Honor, we had, when we were living there, all the bills, everything was in my name because like their credit was bad, so everything was put in my name. And as far as the bill goes, we have 2 gas bills and 1 electric bill. And when they moved out, the bills were never paid.
All right, you have those bills?
Yes, I do.
Or evidence that you paid? Did you pay them?
No.
Okay. So it's still outstanding and it's
Yes,
still hurting your credit.
exactly. That's why I'm trying to get that
Let me hear
paid
from
back.
you ladies about these bills.
Okay, as far as utilities, when we had to move out, we had to go through our apartment, property management and sign a roommate release form. That month of January, she didn't have her rent for that month. I paid her portion and I made a verbal agreement with her that I was going to pay her portion of January's rent. It was almost $300.
So you made a verbal agreement?
Right, we did in the office that day, a verbal agreement. I would pay her portion, of the rent, her rent and the late fees. And then, the utility bills, that would just wipe us clean of utility bills.
Did you pay her portion?
Yes, I did.
All right. You have evidence?
I do.
Ma'am?
Your Honor, that's not true. She did pay my half of the rent that month.
Why?
Because I didn't have my rent for that month. And I told her,
what she said sounds reasonable.
Exactly. So that $300 is deducted from her part of the utilities, but not her sister's part, and she still does owe it.
Ma'am, where does the deduction come in?
Right. I can do that for you.
No, you should have done that before you came in and reduced it from the amount you're suing for. Because now you've sued for something they don't owe.
Exactly, but it wasn't the full amount she was stating it was for. She didn't have to pay late fees.
Ma'am, the total amount was $645. You must deduct the amount that you were credited for in them paying the rent.
Right.
What was that?
It was $323.
That's how much they paid in rent?
Right.
$645 minus $323.
It's $322.
All right. Go ahead, ladies. She alleges that the remaining balance was $322.
There was no balance. At that point, it was just understood.
How much did you pay toward her rent?
The whole $323.
And the total was $645. Then there is a balance.
No,
Either one of y'all can count.
Not towards that. She's suing for bills that brought up in February. We weren't there in February. So you got to take that out of it too. We weren't there in February.
When
No,
did
the
you
bills
leave?
are cut.
Quiet. When did you leave?
January 31st.
All right. And February bills come from January. Lord have mercy. $1,270 for security deposit, unpaid bills, and personal property.
Yep.
Okay.
Tell me why she owes you.
We had AT&T service hooked up. It was phone, internet, and cable. So we have a bill that she never paid on that we still have outstanding.
Okay, you have that? How much is it?
It's the whole total is $427.73.
What else?
But what else? We have Renisha and I both had a cell phone together. I had T-Mobile, and I added her on because she didn't have a phone. It turned out to be a bad idea. She ran up the bill the first month we got it. And
That's not true, Your Honor.
Yes.
How much has
It
she
is.
failed to pay?
all of it. I think it was
How much is
October.
that?
For the T-Mobile show, it was $527. That's half of it.
Go ahead.
I had a pair of boots that were stolen from me. Basically, the day we moved out, she had took it upon herself to go into our rooms as we were moving out, as we left the house to go move our furniture. She was moving boxes into her room. We came back, we were missing our TVs, our
How much do you want for the
cushions.
boots?
$300. They were $300.
All right, ma'am. Let's get to this.
Okay, now I'm gonna start off-
$427 for internet. Do you owe that?
Right. For the internet bill, I owe that.
All right. What about the phone bill?
The phone bill, I do not owe that.
You paid
Your Honor, when the phone bill was due, the first time, she had a message to make it from the local Kroger, and she said that he offered her $300 for a lap
Ma'am,
dance.
how much
And
did
that-
you, ma'am? No. We're not going with the Jamaican. That's the grocery market. Ma'am, let me ask you very clearly. Did you ever run up $527 worth of phone
No, I did
bill?
not.
What is the number?
Mine starts with 770. I can't remember her phone number.
You have to figure it out, ma'am. You have to show me hers. And the security deposit, young lady, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, she eventually, after we moved out, she didn't pay the rent at all, and she got evicted from the apartment. So in the beginning, when we
That's not true.
decided to sign the roommate release form, they told us that the security deposit stayed on that apartment, but since she got evicted, she lost our security deposit because she defaulted on, continuing the lease.
Ma'am, was your phone number 5108?
I have no idea.
You don't know what your phone number was?
I know, because I
Okay,
only had the
believe
phone
you.
for 2 months.
I don't believe you. Don't believe it. Your case is dismissed for perjury. I don't believe you did not know your phone number
I don't
for
remember
2
it.
months.
I do have a
You
line
would
with her.
recognize it, ma'am, after I read it off to you. We're not playing today. $1,270 for the defendants for your counterclaim, which I believe, which you have shown me evidence of. Have a good day. Judgment for the defendant.
She's ridiculous.
They're not true. They're not true at all. I maybe had 2 or 3 friends that would
How
come
you get a
by.
nickname Dun Dun?
She asked
Pretty
me a
Nikki
question.
if you're
She
not
asked me the
promiscuous.
question.
I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. You
She
just
just runs her mouth like she's doing it right
This
now.
is her character
There
right here.
are
She
some
can't even give
hoes.
us 2 seconds
She
to
makes
talk.
it up as she goes.
I
I don't need to get a line.
But you can't get your bills together. You don't even know
I
your
got
phone
my
number.
bills paid, sweetheart.
You
I
don't know
got
your
my
phone
own
number.
apartment.
Know
Thank
your
you
phone
very-
number
I
and
know
start
my
worrying about
phone
me. You
numbers.
don't know your phone number. Okay, whatever.